Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. My guest this evening is Max Sabrin with the Old Saybrook Fire Department. Mr. Max.
Thank you for having me,
Hey,
Pete.
buddy. How are you?
Good.
Long time no see.
Yeah.
Last time we did this, we were both virtually, and from what I recall, it was no fun.
No fun.
Oh, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Got to be in the studio to do this show.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's new?
Nothing much. We got the annual, this is the 10th annual Shoreline Soup Kitchen Food Drive with hopefully 10 fire departments along with Old Saybrook Fire Department.
Okay. When?
This can be Saturday. Everyone write this down. Saturday, April 9th,
Okay.
9 a.m. till 1 p.m. And we'll be at several firehouses, which will be online. We'll have information on the Old Saybrook Fire Department website, and it'll be all over your show and a couple of social media, Facebook, of course. And this year is, besides being the 10th annual, the need has gone up dramatically because of COVID. People lost their jobs, and when two people in the family lose a job, it's a crisis situation, and the numbers are staggering. And you know, it's a pet peeve of me personally, and a lot of guys and gals that no one in our town community should be hungry, and we take care of that. Besides fighting fires, we feed the persons in need.
Absolutely. So how did the idea of the Firehouse Food Drive come about?
Well, it was a campaign from under Governor Rell during the Great Recession there back in 2009, I believe.
Okay.
It was a statewide campaign of firehouses collecting food, Day of Compassion. And of course, the Shoreline was Old Saybrook very instrumental in recruiting firehouses, and it was very successful for the people in need statewide, and it worked really well. So the Shoreline Soup Kitchen, you know, took lead from that after they saw the success of the Day of Compassion. They said, you know, there's something we could do for the Shoreline, because Shoreline Soup Kitchen, 33 years in business, and there's always a need for non-perishable foods. I'm sure
during the time of the pandemic, especially with what's going on now, they're pretty busy.
For sure. I don't know the actual numbers, but you know, I had to get the sheet because it's in 2021, 1,175,000 meals were provided.
Okay.
And they cover 11 towns: Essex, Chester, Clinton, Madison, Old Saybrook, East Lyme, Old Lyme, Killingworth, Westbrook, and Deep River. And they shared 1.5 million pounds of food in 2021, and the need is there. The need is great, and they don't receive state or federal funding. This is all, you know, community donations, corporate donations, private donations, volunteers, and persons donating food and time and money.
Now, on the day of the food drive, what can people expect to see at all the different locations? Specifically, I hear there's exciting news in the town of Old Saybrook, but we'll get to that.
Well, of course. Old Saybrook is the star of the show, and you know, I got to tell you, I've been doing this for now 10, 11, 12 years with different, and it always moves me how the generosity of people. They don't come down with a can of tuna or they come down with a bag of tuna or a bag of soup. I mean, it's incredible, the generosity. When the call goes out for help is on its way. And
absolutely.
You know, these are volunteers from the fire department taking time from their family to help the community, and it's a great thing. And we'll be at Old Saybrook Firehouse. We'll be at Walmart front and back entrance, Stop and Shop both entrances, and Big Y in Old Saybrook, and other firehouses. Clinton will be at Stop and Shop, and I think Big Y and ShopRite, and actually we're going to get some help from Westbrook. They're going to help us at Big Y, yeah, because it's a lot of entrances and exits over there.
Lots of manpower.
Lots of manpower.
Like you said before, all hands on deck.
Yeah, this is something very special to all our members. And if you can't give time or money or something,
right.
There is no better feeling than helping someone in need that you don't know that they don't know you.
Absolutely.
It's a fantastic feeling.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I hear there might be a celebrity sighting on Food Drive Day.
Possibly the chief meteorologist, Gil Simmons from News 8. And I got to tell you, it's
he's the man.
Well, Lee Elsie's there with me from 94.9 News Now, and people literally come from all over the state to say hi to Gil, and with their kids, with their dogs.
Oh, absolutely.
He's, and what you see on TV is what you see in person.
Absolutely.
He's the most unpretentious, down-to-earth, nicest guy. Besides, and there's a really method to my madness.
There is.
I always want good weather, so that's the only reason I invite him.
There you go.
Generally, I think we had rain once in 10 years, I think, and it cleared out pretty quick. So I know what I'm doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yes, what you see on air is what you get, because I've met Gil a couple of times, and what you see is what you get. And the funny thing, in all seriousness for a second, yes, Pete said he's going to get serious. The same thing with Lee Elsey. What you see and listen to on the air is exactly what you get when you see him in person or meet him in person at different events.
Regular guy, down to earth.
Oh, absolutely.
Loves the people, and the people love him. I mean, good. He doesn't have an air. You'd think he'd be uppity, but no, he's down to earth.
No, absolutely not. He's a really nice guy. Matter of fact, he was on with me last October.
Oh.
Yeah, he came down and him and I did the Pete Mezzetti show together. It was a lot of fun. He's like, anytime you want me to come down, just let me know. I'm like, I can definitely do that. By the way, before we both forget,
yes,
the day of the food drive, I understand the crew at the firehouse is being fed. By who?
Generous donation by Mercena's is providing us lunch and their famous rice pudding. And earlier in the day, breakfast is being provided by Parthenon Diner for our volunteers. And,
okay.
Which is really, really, I mean, they didn't have to. I just asked, can we get a cup? And they said, whatever you need at the fire department, help. They appreciate what we do besides our emergency first responding service. But doing
absolutely.
the food drive is extra special for the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And especially now, Max, because of what's going on during the pandemic, I'm sure the numbers at the soup kitchen have gone through the roof.
Clinton and Westbrook has gone up dramatically.
Yeah.
Old Saybrook was up. It has calmed down a bit. There are more people going back to work, but still it's a strain. And now with household budgets of the cost of fuel, energy, medication, so it's tough when there's if someone's missing hours or missing a job in the family. It creates quite a problem for the household.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what else we want to tell people about the food drive, and what types of donations are you guys looking for?
Things that can last on the shelf. This year there's something.
Voila! Here are examples.
This is a great example. But added to this one is milk from the grocery shelf. This shelf-stable
powdered milk.
They have powder and they have liquid. Liquid containers that stays on the shelf. And again, oatmeal, cereal, pasta sauce, pasta. Again, this year this shelf-stable milk. Dried beans, rice, canned vegetables, canned fruit, soup, and tuna. Those are the most needed items that are nutritious and every family needs. So, peanut butter, whatever can stay on the shelf that doesn't need refrigeration.
Absolutely.
That helps greatly. It's nutritional and it's all good stuff.
I remember a while back, I was doing a food drive with one of the local nonprofits in Clinton, and they do a food drive they do a fall food drive and a spring food drive. And when we talked about the generosity of people, there were people bringing out grocery carts full of food donations, saying, wheeling out the grocery cart, taking their bag of stuff. Here you go. The rest is for you guys for the food drive. I'm like, I look at the organizer. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, yeah.
We had a couple of SUVs and minivans come up with and this was a great thing. It's a learning experience for the families and for children to show how to donate.
Oh, absolutely.
With cases and cases of stuff from the warehouse clubs, from BJ's and Costco.
Sure.
Where I got to tell you, I got choked up. I had tears in my eyes because I was expecting a couple of bag of No, it was cases of pasta, cases of sauce, and it was quite moving, and still, to this day, when people come through, not one person brings one item. It's multiple items. It's when we call for help, and through your audience, they come through.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's a great industry. Now, tell us a little bit about the Old Saybrook Fire Department.
In terms of, well, we have our monthly training. We've been, last year, we probably did close to 600 calls, which involves motor vehicle accidents, fire alarms, some fires. It's a great, really bunch of great guys and gals and camaraderie, and the training is important. It's instrumental. The training is so important to keep your skills honed, and we have mutual aid training with other departments too, which helps out, because we often get called to other towns and vice versa. So it's a bunch of great guys and gals to be, volunteers and risk your family and to help others.
Absolutely.
And so they're willing to help.
How big's the department?
Well, close to 80 members total.
Okay.
That encompasses juniors, probies, which is before that, you have to be 18 to be a regular member, and we have senior members. So it's from literally from 15 to 70 plus, bunch of great guys and gals.
I was going to say, so you would be in the senior member.
Oh, I'm above senior, super senior.
Yeah, you'll kill me later for that.
Yeah, I know where you live.
Yeah, yes, you do. So regarding the food drive, and obviously, it's once a year for you guys.
For the fire department, it's once a year. Usually April, because people forget. There's the big push October, November for the holidays,
right,
for Christmas and Thanksgiving. But because the need is so great, and after the holidays, to sustain the shelves for the spring and summer, it's a big push, and it's a reminder for people to donate money, donate time, donate product, and they have boxes at the supermarkets, but we ask people not to bring merchandise, food to the firehouses, because we don't have the space for it, only the date of the event, April 9th. But it's there's no greater feeling in the world.
No, absolutely not.
And it's rewarding, and it's good. It's
absolutely good. Would you mind sticking around?
Please.
All right, we'll be right back.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over. When you see lights,
vests,
or reflectors,
please give us some room. Slow down and move over.
When you need us,
we've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
Please, slow down.
And move over.
Community TV, your neighborhood TV.
Publicly funded and a reliable partner for cable companies nationwide. It provides transparent coverage of local and state government, education, and public programming.
A digital town green that can be watched anywhere, anytime, and on any device.
Watch us on today's high-tech distribution methods.
Community TV in Connecticut.
Local,
unfiltered,
reliable, and yours.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Max Sabrin from the Old Saybrook Fire Department. Mr. Max, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Pete.
You got
it.
Hey, Mr. Max, we saw, as we were in the PSA break, a public service announcement. Can you maybe just tell us about what we just saw?
Well, that is a nationwide state law, which I'd probably say more than 50% have no idea what that means.
All right.
Slow down, move over. And there's going to be a big campaign coming up in the next few months, and you're getting actually first dibs in this. It's going to be really, really big, a program. But on the average, 5.5 days, one tow truck driver is struck and killed on the job every 5.5 days. In 2021, we lost 65 first responders, police, fire, EMS, tow truck, and highway in 2021.
Right.
In 5 years, there was 1,600 people that were killed by vehicles. And what the slow down, move over means, if you can't move over because there's traffic, which we understand,
right,
slow down dramatically where you can be close to stopping. Mm-hmm. And when we're trying to save someone that was in a car accident, we don't need you whizzing by us at 70 miles an hour
No.
when someone's in the car with a broken arm or broken leg or bleeding profusely. So help us, protect the person, but protect us too. So it's, they want to, there's a lot of distraction out there they want to videotape it, they want to watch it, but you got to look ahead. And the distracted driving is a problem, but please, 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 when you see vests, lights, emergency vehicles, any cars that's on the side of the road, even a guy that radiator overflowed or a flat tire, if you can't move over, slow down, because it's not that much space between the road. And it's on the news every week, and it's really heartbreaking.
Absolutely. Now,
yes, sir.
the other thing we're going to talk about.
Yep.
You brought visuals with you.
Visuals, compliments of Saybrook Hardware on Main Street in Old Saybrook.
Right. What are they?
These are the
well,
first.
I know what they are.
Yeah, these are the first
smoke detectors.
These are the first alerts, battery operated and hardwire battery operated smoke detectors. And this is probably the best insurance policy money could buy.
Okay.
$15, $20, $25, even $30 maybe. Since January 1st, 2022 to date, we lost almost 500 people in fatal fires.
Okay.
And I don't know the statistics, but most of them did not have working detectors.
No.
And that's, to me, that's no excuse. And I know people, myself in the past, have taken out the battery because of cooking and caused smoke, forget to put the battery back. That is the biggest mistake people make. You got to test your smoke detector every month. You got to make sure the batteries are fresh every year. Now they have the 10-year, which I just replaced in my home, a 10-year battery, 10-year detector.
Yep.
I test it every couple of months, make sure it's working, make sure it's clean. It's the most, probably cheapest, inexpensive way to save your life.
Right.
Give you time to get out. If you hear that thing going off, get out.
Absolutely. I heard mine going off the other day. Of course, the only reason I heard mine going off the other day, my mom was burning the spaghetti sauce.
Aha. It's ready.
Right. I'm like, and I was upstairs, and I was standing in the hallway, and my dad was like, "You hear the smoke detector go off?" I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "Mom burned something." I'm like,
there you go.
About 10 seconds later, beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 and then they all start in the house. It's like,
well, that means they're working.
absolutely.
It's good.
I came downstairs. I looked at my dad. I'm like, the smoke detectors work? He was like, yes, they do.
Yeah, I can't stress it enough to have working detectors, and it's not taken for granted, but
Right.
it's again, when we have a fatal fire nationwide, so we're talking close to 600 people have died because they did not have, a lot of them did not have working detectors in the home,
Right.
near your bedroom, in the basement. Depends if you have a multi-level home, but working smoke detectors save lives.
Right.
It's critical, and people, it's a year-round project. They have it in the special months of fire safety, but to me,
That's right. That's right.
Every month should be fire safety.
That's right. Now, tell me this. What is no, this is a dumb question.
No.
No? Okay. Difference between the battery-operated smoke detector and the hardwired smoke detector?
Well, the only difference
What's the difference?
the hardwire does have a battery backup in case of a power failure.
Ah, gotcha.
So I used to have a hardwire, and I just switched it to a battery operated because if there's a power failure, you still want that smoke detector to work. So that's why it has the battery. But it's important to have a fresh battery. If it's not a 10-year battery,
Right.
Make sure those things are changed every time you change the time, which we're coming up to in
That's right.
March.
Couple weeks.
March 25. I don't even know the date. Shame on me.
March something.
Yeah, it's change your clocks. Spring ahead.
Spring ahead, fall back, change your change your batteries.
So this is where we lose the hour of sleep.
Yes.
I don't like that.
No, me either.
But I do like the daylight.
Oh, absolutely.
7, 8 o'clock. Because I'm nodding out at 7, 8 o'clock with the dock at 5.
Exactly. So spring ahead, fall back. But when you spring ahead and fall back, you also change the batteries in your smoke
Change the
detectors.
batteries and the detectors. Again, smoke detectors are only good for 10 years. So
Okay.
if you don't know what year it was, they have a label inside the manufacturing date.
Oh, do
CO
they?
detectors, carbon monoxide, are good 5 to 7 years only.
Right.
So if it's, make sure it's within that time frame. Smoke detectors 10 years, CO, carbon monoxide detectors are good 5 to 7 years only.
And then obviously go to the hardware store and get them changed.
Yeah,
We'll buy 'em
your
and they
local
can-
hardware stores, Saybrook Hardware, or one of your big box. But we prefer keep it.
Go local.
Go local.
Go local.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Go local. Get your smoke detectors, get your CO detectors. But we got a little bit more, we got some more
Sure.
time left, but let's loop around back to the food drive.
This is besides being the 10th one, the 10th annual food drive. This is very
Yes.
special because it's a pet peeve of mine, and I'm sure it's a pet peeve of a lot of friends. And just the way I was raised by my late parents is, your friends or neighbors shouldn't be hungry.
Right.
So whatever you have, share like the old days.
Oh, absolutely.
The community and the churches, the synagogues. But this is where everyday people can be heroes of. If you can't donate money, if you can't volunteer time, donate some non-perishable items.
Absolutely.
And, these are some samples of the non-perishable items that are desperately needed.
Yep.
And it's nutritious. They're not expensive. When it's on sale, grab a couple.
Go for it.
Fill up a bag and bring it down April 9th to one of the participating firehouses. It'll be on your social media.
Yep.
We'll have
Oh,
it on your
absolutely.
page, on Facebook and Twitter.
Absolutely.
And there's no better feeling in the world than to do something nice for someone.
All right, and I almost forgot. We got to do another shout out
Yeah.
to our friend, but I don't remember what his name is, at Walmart in Old Saybrook.
Oh, Eddie, the manager of Walmart, has been fantastic. He started off. I asked him for a couple of samples.
And this
is only a small portion. He gave us over $100 worth of product to
nice.
donate. I just
Nice.
wanted some show and tell stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
And he said he wanted fire trucks in front, fire trucks in back. He wants to make this the big thing, and they're ordering extra product for that day, April 9th. They expect a lot of customers. They're really good for the community.
Yeah.
Walmart. They're really, really helpful in helping the Shoreline Soup Kitchen.
Absolutely, absolutely. So obviously, now how did in the years past, because of the pandemic, how did that affect the food drive?
I think we skipped the year before. We canceled 2020.
Okay.
That was in the heat of it, because we usually do it in April, and that's when everything shut down, March.
Yep.
And so we came back slowly last year, April. We did it, and it was actually pretty successful. It was pretty good because people wanted to get out and had to
people
go
were
to
dying
the
to get out.
supermarket anyway.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So it's like instead of buying stuff for themselves, they bought merchandise, additional merchandise. And again, they were incredible last year at the supermarkets. And we didn't do the firehouse last year, though.
That's right.
We just did the supermarkets.
That's right. And so if people want to swing by, again, the date is April...
Saturday, April 9th, 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. sharp, and we'll be there with bells on. Possibly, I heard, it's not Pete Mezzetti might come by.
It'll cost you. It'll cost you coffee.
Yeah, well,
You
got it.
Oh, I was going to say...
I'll get you a sandwich at Marcina's.
I was going to say, or you and I, or at a later date, you and I will show up at Marcina's and have breakfast together
Absolutely.
one morning. That would be...
For sure.
That would be a lot of fun. They're a good local business.
Great lady, great business, great food, and
Yep.
people love that place.
Oh, absolutely. And I hear they support anything that the Old Saybrook Fire Department's involved with.
Always. There's no hesitation. She's great for us, and also she helps out the high schools and various organizations too. So she's very caring to the community.
Absolutely. Now, as far as you're involved, and you and I have talked about this off the air and off camera, how important is it to support your local community and get involved locally in civic and nonprofit organizations and all that other fun stuff?
It's great for kids, whether it's high school kids or college kids. It's great on their resumes for getting ahead in their because in real life I'm a recruiter.
Yeah.
In employment, so
That's right.
It's great on the resume. It teaches you support, public relations, which is priceless, which is,
Yeah.
there's dealing with people and helping people. It goes a long way.
Yeah,
Empathy and compassion.
absolutely. And you can learn to be Pete Mezzetti.
There you go, have your own TV show.
I don't know if you want to learn to be Pete Mezzetti.
Sometimes.
People want more information on the food drive. Where are they going there, Funny Man?
Just Shoreline Soup Kitchen or the Old Saybrook Fire Department website will have information in a couple of days, and on Facebook too.
Absolutely. Yeah, all the if you missed any of tonight's show and the information on everything will be on my website and my social media, so you can always go and take a look. And if you need any information, let Max or myself know, and we can get that posted out. But we're about to say goodnight before we go. I want to thank you for coming down.
Pete, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, buddy. On behalf of Max Sabrin, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks, good night, and we'll see you next time.